All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so I got this article here today, man. All right, it reads, France orders hospitals to be ready for war by March 2026. Now, why are all these countries preparing for war? That's because war is coming, man. All right, we've been telling you that very great war is coming. World War III. All right, because it's biblical prophecy, man. So we have been prophesying this on the highways and hedges week in and week out, man. We've been telling y'all, man. We've been warning y'all, man. All right. And now you see it, man. And most of the people of this world still don't see it, man. They don't know what time they're living in. They don't know what's going on around them, what's happening around them. All right, because they're just walking zombies and they're getting ready to be swept off the, they're getting ready to be swept, man. All right, swept off their feet with America, in other parts of this earth too as well. The people of this world I'm talking about, man. Majority of the people of this world is getting ready to get caught with their pants down, man. War is coming, man. We've been telling y'all this, man. All right, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, which are the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner, man. All right, and I say that humbly, Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. I am one of the Lord's true chosen prophets, man. We've been telling y'all this, man. War is coming, all right? It's inevitable. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, believe it or not. It's going to happen no matter what. The scriptures say, what if some did not believe? All right, would that make the faith of the Most High without none effect? It don't matter if you believe it or not. It's going to come to pass regardless. Because it's prophecy. It's inevitable, man. All right, World War III, this whole earth is getting ready to be swallowed by nuclear fire. You understand? All right, you got all these countries preparing for war. You got Switzerland, all right? They're readying up the nuclear bunkers. I did a lesson on that a little while back. All these countries are preparing, man, because these people that sit in high places like your presidents, your prime ministers, and all that, of these countries, the leaders of these nations, they know what's getting ready to happen, man. They know what's going on, man. They can smell it. They can sense it. They know that war is coming. And we've been telling y'all this, man. All right. The true prophets and the true servants of the Lord since the ancient times, man. All right. Since the ancient times. All right. All they have ever done was prophesy of war. They always spoke about war and death. All right. And famine and pestilences. They always spoke against countries and nations. And that's what the true prophets of the Lord today are doing. All right, and what's that main country, the main nation and empire we're speaking against? Babylon, America, man. All right, we're letting this place know that it's going to fall and be destroyed and swept off the face of this earth by nuclear destruction, because that is what's going to happen. All right, I tell you this with great surety, okay? Babylon, aka America, is going to be swept and destroyed, man. All right, in this third world war that's about to pop off. All right, so you got France. All right, as you read right here, France orders hospitals to be ready for war by March 2026. All right, matter of fact, let me get Jeremiah real quick. Because I was just talking about it. All right, before I read the article. All right, let's get Jeremiah 28. Let's get that. All right, Jeremiah 28 and 8. All right. So it says, all right, because Jeremiah was a prophet himself. All right. He spoke about the destruction of Babylon. all right, aka America, in Jeremiah the 49th chapter, Jeremiah 50th chapter, Jeremiah the 51st chapter, all right? Those chapters are talking about America being destroyed, Babylon being destroyed, all right, which is America, all right? The modern day Babylon being America, all right? So this is Jeremiah 28:9. It says the prophets, verse 28, my bad. It says Jeremiah 28:8. It says the prophets, all right, that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. So the prophet Jeremiah, he's saying the prophets that have been before him, all right, they prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms of what? Of war and of evil and of pestilence, all right? So that's what the prophets always spoke about. They always spoke about war, evil, and pestilence, man. All right? They never prophesied of peace. They never told you that peace was coming. Peace is not coming until Yahweh Shai cracks that sky. Peace is not coming until the kingdom of heaven, until Yahweh Shai cracks that sky and sets up the kingdom of heaven. But before that, we know that great war, great evil, very great pestilence and death and famine and hunger and sorrow and mourning and anguish and pain is coming, man. All right? Read the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, the 16th chapter. All right? The prophet Ezra said he's seen nothing but famine, death, and destruction. All right? That's what's coming upon the face of this earth, man, especially here in America. All right? Jeremiah 28:8, all right? The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old both prophesied. Excuse me, read that again. It says, Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. And that's exactly what the true prophets of the Lord are doing today. They're prophesying against countries and great kingdoms. And what's that great kingdom we're prophesying against? All right, the main one is America. We're letting this place know that it's fallen, man, that it's going to be destroyed and swept. All right, and that's not the only nation we're prophesying against. All right, because all these other nations are going to be destroyed too. All right, in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, the Lord said, "Set thy face against Gog and Magog," which is Russia. So we're prophesying against, because Russia going to be destroyed too. All these countries in the Middle East and Europe, they're all going to be destroyed, man. All right. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and pestilence. So the prophets always spoke about war, and that's what it is today too. All right, because the prophets today are nothing but the ancient prophets coming back. So if the prophets spoke about war in the ancient world, all right, they're speaking about war in this time. All right, the true prophets of the Lord, they're letting you know that World War III is coming. That's what the true prophets of the Lord are prophesying about. World War III, famine, hell, evils, death, and destruction. All right, they're letting you know that a time known as the time of Jacob's trouble is coming, which is a very great time. All right, a very great time of trouble that's getting ready to fall upon you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans, man. You know, they're telling you that the true prophets of the Lord are telling you that the mark of the beast is coming, which is the RFID microchip. This is everything that the true prophets of the Lord are prophesying, man. All right. These pastors in these Christian churches that you go to see on Sunday, all right, they're not telling you about any of these things, man. They're not telling you that World War III is coming. They're not letting you know that America's going to be destroyed. They're not telling you about the time of Jacob's trouble. This is how we know they're not the true prophets of the Lord. They're not telling you about the pain and anguish and sorrow and misery that's getting ready to fall upon America, man. You know, they're not letting you know about the inflation, the hyperinflation that's getting ready to pop off. You know, they're not prophesying anything, man. All right? You can't even call them prophets because they're not even prophesying. You know? And the true prophets of the Lord, first and foremost, you know, because you got many Israelite camps, but first and foremost, the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner, like Great Millstone, that like doctrine, all right, because they are the ones that have 100% truth of the Bible. You understand? All right. So when you see articles like this, France orders hospitals to be ready for war by March 2020. We've been telling y'all because war is coming, man. We've been telling y'all that war is coming, man. We've been prophesying this on the highways and hedges. You understand? All right. So it says, let's read it one more time. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. All right, verse 9. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh has truly sent them. Yeah, so if a prophet is prophesying of peace, all right, and that peace comes, all right, then you know that's a prophet of the Lord. But no peace is coming, and you're gonna realize that, man. All right, do you see that peace is coming? Those who don't live under a rock and see what's happening, those that are paying attention to what the prophets, all right, are putting out there, you know, all the news and the current news we're shedding light on. Does it look like there's peace coming, man? All this war that's going on in the world, does it look like peace is coming? Nah, man. All right. Only the false prophets spoke about peace. All right, matter of fact, let's get that, man. All right, as you see right here, the prophets always spoke about what? Of war, of evil, and of pestilence. All right, come on, man. All right. The prophets don't teach nothing nice. They don't teach what makes you feel good, man. You know? All right. So let's get peace. Let's get that peace. Peace when there is no peace. All right, that's also in Jeremiah. All right, the 6th chapter. You got let's get that peace. Peace. Let's get that. It's Jeremiah 6, and I also think that's Jeremiah 14 as well. Let's get that real quick. All right, yeah, you got Jeremiah. Let's see. I know you got it in let me see real quick. Let me get it like this. Peace. Peace when there is no peace. Let's get it like that. I know it's in Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah 6. All right, why didn't it come up? All right, but anyway, let's get it. Jeremiah 6. All right. All right, Jeremiah 6. Let's start at verse. Let me see real quick. Jeremiah 6. I'll start at verse 13. All right, so let's get Jeremiah 6 and 13, but the point is in 14. All right, matter of fact, yeah, I'll just get to the point. All right, Jeremiah 6 and 13, it says, "For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them," talking about the Israelites, man. All right, because the Lord was talking about how they dealt treacherously, man. You know how they're just wicked, man. All right, so Jeremiah 6 and 13, it says, "For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them, every one is given to covetousness," talking about the Israelites, talking about their wickedness. All right, and from the prophet, even the prophet being wicked. All right, because they were false prophets. All right, and from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. You see, all right. They have healed, all right, talking about the prophets, all right, they have dealt falsely, all right, they have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. So the false prophets, all right, as the scriptures say right here, and from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace, all right. So the prophets, all right, that deal falsely, they speak about peace, peace, when there is no peace. No peace is coming, man. The prophets of the Lord never spoke about peace, man. You understand? All right, they've been telling you that war is coming, man. All right, we've been telling you that war is coming on a very high, great, and grand scale that your mind can't even process or fathom. You know, can't even your mind can't even calculate it, man. You know, that's the type of destruction and war that's getting ready to come upon this earth. So you don't understand that nuclear missiles that are getting ready to pelt this earth, especially here in America. All right, that's the wrath and the anger of the Lord, man. All right, the Lord said, all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, that's Zechariah the third chapter, the 8th verse. All right, but anyway, you know, let's go back. It says, France orders hospitals to be ready for war by March 2026 because war is coming. All right, they know that war is coming. They smell it in the air. All right. So it says French hospitals have been instructed by the country's Ministry of Health to be prepared for war in Europe next year. Woo! All right, it says France has been told to prepare its health system for a scenario in which it may have to treat thousands of soldiers returning from combat in what the country's health minister says is just a precautionary measure. Yeah, but why are they doing this? Because they know that war is coming, man. You know, these countries' leaders, they know, man. All right, the ones that sit in the high places, they know what's happening, man. All right, it says France has I just read that. It says in a letter dated July 18th sent to regional health agencies, the Ministry of Health told hospitals to prepare for a major military engagement by March 2026, according to documents seen by Le Carnard and Chanet. All right, it says, I probably butchered that, but whatever. It says the newspaper warned that between 10,000 and 50,000 men could be expected in hospitals over a period of 10 to 180 days. You see, so they know what's happening, man. All right, to prepare for a major what? Military engagement. All right. It says the ministry says France's hospital should be aware of the limitations in wartime and be ready to care for both French and foreign soldiers in the event of a major conflict. All right. It said hospitals should be prepared to treat thousands of soldiers within a period of 10 to 180 days, according to the French satirical newspaper Le Canard and Chenet, which first reported the letter last week. All right, Euronews Health has not independently verified its contents. All right, a government spokesperson told Euronews that the health ministry's job is to prepare for a wide range of threats that the healthcare system could face, including epidemics, environmental crisis, and malicious risk. All right, it says as part of those preparations, the spokesperson said France's health professionals should be ready to treat military patients in the civilian health system. France is reportedly also considering setting up medical centers near bus and train stations, airports, and ports to enable the rerouting of foreign soldiers to their home country, the letter said. All right. So it says in an interview with the French news channel, all right, last week, all right, Health Minister Catherine Vautrin said it is perfectly more normal for the country to anticipate crises and their consequences. Nah, man, because now you got all these countries, they're doing all they're preparing for war because they know that war is coming. Why are all these nations now all of a sudden preparing for war? Because that war that we've been prophesying, World War III, is getting ready to pass, man. All right, it's getting ready to pass, man. You know. All right. Like I said before, you got Switzerland. A little while back, a couple months back, I did a art. I did a. They had an article on it. I reported on it. All right. They're preparing the nuclear bunkers and all that. You know, preparing the citizens. You know, for the nuclear bunkers and all that, man. You know. So I also want to get into, what's going on with uh with the U.S. and Venezuela, because now the U.S. and Venezuela is at war now, man. All right, you got that war that's going on with U.S. and Venezuela. You had at first you had warships sent to the coast near Venezuela, and now you had the U.S. attack the cartels, the Venezuelan cartels. All right, and now you got Trump sending stealth fighter planes to Puerto Rico. All right, for the war. As this article reads, you got the Guardian right here. It says Trump sends 10 stealth fighter planes to Puerto Rico amid war on Caribbean drug cartels. All right, it says move comes after accusing Venezuela of buzzing U.S. warships and a deadly U.S. missile strike on Caribbean Sea. All right, to keep you updated with what's going on, man. All right, because wars and rumors of wars is popping off, man. All right. So it says Donald Trump is sending 10 F-35, all right, fighter jets to Puerto Rico to bolster U.S. military operations against drug cartels in the Caribbean region. All right, it was reported on Friday, which is today. All right, it follows a deadly U.S. missile strike on Tuesday on a boat in the Caribbean Sea that the Trump administration insisted was carrying 11 Venezuelan drug traffickers, all right? And comments by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, on Wednesday that such attacks will happen again, all right? In another development, on Thursday, the U.S. accused Venezuela of the highly provocative move of buzzing one of its warships in international waters. The development of strike aircraft to Puerto Rico, first reported by Reuters, all right, citing two sources briefed on the matters, all right, is a sharp escalation of the is a sharp escalation, all right, of the U.S. president's crackdown on what he sees as a Venezuelan-led drug trafficking menace in the region, all right. The planes the planes will arrive in the U.S. territory next week and will be part of a sustained military campaign in the Latin America region that began with Tuesday's airstrike. The news agency said the F-35 is a highly advanced stealth fighter and would be very effective in combat against Venezuela's Air Force, which includes F-16 aircrafts. All right. It says Trump has already sent at least 8 warships and other military assets to the area in recent weeks. And Rubio, speaking in Mexico City on Wednesday, warned of more operations to come. All right. As you see what's going on, man. It says, meanwhile, 2 Venezuelan military planes flew close to a U.S. warship in international waters, the Pentagon said on Tuesday in a social media post, an act it called a highly provocative move designed to interfere with our counter-narco-terror operations. All right. It says the statement by the Department of Defense strongly advised the Venezuelan regime of embattlement, all right, the Venezuela regime of embattlement, President Nicolas Maduro, not to obstruct, deter, or interfere with U.S. operations. Maduro has accused the U.S. of seeking a regime change through military threat and promised to build up his own armed forces. All right, so you got Venezuela and you got the U.S. at war right now. Wars and all types of things, man. Prophecy jumping out the scriptures left and right. All right, you got the Lord said that He's gonna pour His Spirit upon all men, and that men shall dream dreams and prophesy of visions. All right, you got people having dreams that Russia is attacking the U.S. and that's biblical prophecy. All right, Russia gonna be the main ones to destroy America, man, in this third world war. All right, thus save the Lord, thus save the Bible, man. All right, Isaiah the 13th chapter. All right, you got books in Jeremiah. All right, that talk about the Medes. The Medes represents the Russians, man. All right, you know that's going to destroy the land of the North, which is America, man. All right, it's prophesied that Russia's going to destroy America, and you have those exact dreams that are falling upon people, man. All this, bro. Come on, man. We right here. We in the lap. It ain't too much time, man, to be living how you want to live. You got to come back to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I'm talking to the elect of y'all, man. All right, this is a very serious thing. We don't make these videos and go out to the highways and hedges looking like fools to be foolish for the hell of it, man. We very serious, man. You know? All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson was edifying, man. All right, so with that being said, unto the next one, Shalom, Shalom.